Hey everybody, I'm the Ranting Monkey, and today we're going to take a look at why this channel still focuses on SJWs, and why it will for the foreseeable future. So I woke up this afternoon and logged on to Twitter and found this from my friend Sofane. I'm really getting bored with my YouTube subscription feed. It's been well over a year beating up on SJWs. I got the point. Two things. Yes, I did say I woke up this afternoon. Don't judge me. Far more important to this video, I understand where Sofane's coming from, and I'm not beating up on him here. I subscribe to a large number of anti-SJW channels, and after a while, it can just get repetitive. I'm not sure I'd use the word boring, but desensitized wouldn't be out of the question. While I will still immediately click on a brand new Bearing or Weibo Jones upload like the little fangirl that I am, these days I'm just as likely to be found watching a Let's Play as I am anti-SJW content. But Sofane's tweet did remind me of a comment I got on my recent Thanksgiving video. Actually, it was a pair of comments from the same person. One which reads,
"You're just trying to be edgy at this point. That's all any of you are good for these days."
And the other,
"You suck for this. Why didn't you just tell the story of Thanksgiving? You decided to shit on people's identities for no reason, yet you expect people to give a shit about your identity as an anti-SJW. There was no reason for this. Give it a rest."
I know it's childish, but I really do get a kick out of making people who are upset with me sound like pissed off chipmunks. Because that's how they sound in my head. While I could point out that accusing me of just trying to be edgy at this point regarding a video that's a re-upload from last year is fucking stupid, I'd much rather concentrate on the other comment. There was no reason for this, give it a rest. Well, first of all, I still think it's funny, and that for me is enough reason for most things in my life. Additionally, SJWs haven't given it a rest. Just last month, a week after California decriminalized knowingly exposing somebody to HIV, they passed a law allowing jail time for purposefully misgendering. This kind of retarded nonsense has now made it literally worse to hurt somebody's feelings than to give somebody a disease that could fucking kill them. Give it a rest? Suck my dick. Other than chasing bedroom feminists off YouTube, not much has really been accomplished. Social justice is still winning everywhere. Just yesterday, we saw Bearing kicked off of Twitter permanently for calling Christy Winters, this hag here, fisty splinters repeatedly. Meanwhile, this cunt gets to say things like this, and this, and this. Not only is she still allowed to say them, she still has a little blue check mark next to her name. That means she's verified by Twitter. Twitter verification was originally just to say, yes, this is the person that they say they are. But Jack and company have been using it for quite a while to endorse political viewpoints. If you say the wrong thing, even if they know it's you, they're going to take away your blue check mark. And if you keep doing it, they're going to ban you for it. It's exactly what we saw happen with Milo Yiannopoulos. First they took away his check mark, and then they banned him. And what was his offense? He said Leslie Jones looked like a man. Calling somebody fisty or saying that a woman looks like a man when she clearly does, those are horrific violations. Saying you think all men deserve to be murdered? Well, there's definitely no problem there. This is what social justice brings us, and it's getting worse, not better. Fuck, just look at what's appeared in the New York Times the last couple of weeks. On November 11th, they published this gem, "Can My Children Be Friends with White People?" in which the author says, among other stupid shit,
"As against our gauzy national hopes, I will teach my boys to have profound doubts that friendships with white people is possible. When they ask, I will teach my sons that their beautiful hue is a fault line. Spare me platitudes of how we are all the same on the inside. I first have to keep my boys safe, and so I will teach them before the world shows them this particular brand of rending, violent, often fatal betrayal."
Ain't that a bitch? Look, I still support this guy's right to say this stupid shit, and I support the New York Times for publishing it. But let's be honest here. There's no way in the world the New York Times would publish this if the races were reversed. If a white man wrote, "I'm going to teach my children not to trust black people because it's often fatal," there's no way that gets published. Even if the author takes the time to include the FBI stats that show a white person is literally twice as likely to be killed by a black person than a black person to be killed by a white one. Thanks to social justice, it's perfectly acceptable to be racist, as long as you're racist against white people. White people? Bad. Thank you, social justice. But it's not just race. They do this shit with the sexes as well. On November 25th, they published this piece of shit, "The Unexamined Brutality of the Male Libido."
After weeks of continuously unfolding abuse scandals, men have become, quite literally, unbelievable. What any given man might say about gender politics and how he treats women are separate and unrelated phenomena. Liberal or conservative, feminist or chauvinist, woke or benighted, young or old, found on Fox News or in the New Republic, a man's stated opinions have next to no relationship to behavior. Through sheer bulk, the string of revelations about men from Bill Cosby to Roger Ailes, to Harvey Weinstein to Louis C.K., to Al Franken, and this week to Charlie Rose and John Lasseter, have forced men to confront what they hate to think about most, the nature of men in general. This time the accusations aren't against some freak geography teacher, some frat running amok in a southern college town. They're against men of all different varieties, in different industries, with different sensibilities, bound together, solely, by the grotesquerie of their sexuality. Men arrive at this moment of reckoning woefully unprepared. Most are shocked by the reality of women's lived experience. Almost all are uninterested or unwilling to grapple with the problem at the heart of all this, the often ugly and dangerous nature of the male libido.
As stupid as that is, he goes on to say this.
For most of history, we've taken for granted the implicit brutality of male sexuality. In 1976, the radical feminist and pornography opponent, Andrea Dworkin, said that the only sex between a man and a woman that could be undertaken without violence was sex with a flaccid penis. I think that the men will have to give up their precious erections, she wrote.
Yeah, he's quoting Dworkin. Frankly, given what he's wrote, I bet the idea of being able to have sex with a flaccid penis is really appealing to this guy. We're going to skip most of the rest of this stupid shit, but I do want to highlight his conclusion.
I'm not asking for male conscious raising groups. Let's start with a basic understanding that masculinity is a subject worth talking about. That alone would be an immense step forward. If you want to be a civilized man, you have to consider what you are. Pretending to be something else, some fiction you would prefer to be, cannot help. It is not morality, but culture. Accepting our monstrosity, reckoning with it, that can save us, if anything can.
Yep, all men are just violent monsters who want to stab women with our cocks. We need to be saved. Saved, for fuck's sake. Once again, I don't have a problem with the Times publishing this. Or with this guy saying really stupid shit. I support his right to be a complete fucking pussy. But why is it men have to examine themselves? Do you think the New York Times would publish an article, "Why are bitches cunts?" Have you ever heard anyone say that women need to examine their behavior so that they can figure out why they're fucking up society? Nope. The assumption is men just need to be more like women because women are obviously the best. And if you disagree with that, if you suggest that being a man is okay, well, then you're a misogynist pig who shouldn't be allowed to speak and deserves to be murdered. I don't have an issue with either of these articles being published. I really don't have an issue with these two idiots having these opinions. My problem is not only that these are acceptable positions, they are the only acceptable positions. Social justice has brought in a new wave of sexism and racism that is somehow okay, and I have a big problem with that. And no, I won't give it a fucking rest. We're going to take a look at one more example, and this one is probably the most disturbing. And it's still happening, right here on YouTube. On November 22nd, on their official YouTube blog, YouTube posted this: 5 ways we're toughening our approach to protect families on YouTube and YouTube Kids. We're not going to read through it. It's not really important to what I'm getting at here, but it is linked below if you'd like to see what they had to say. What is important is why they had to do this. This story comes to us from Reuters.
Confectionery maker Mondelez, Lindell, Mars, and other consumer good producers have pulled advertising from YouTube after Britain's Times newspaper found the video sharing site was showing clips of scantily clad children alongside the ads of major brands. Comments from hundreds of pedophiles were posted alongside the videos, which appeared to have been uploaded by the children themselves according to the Times investigation. One clip of a pre-teenage girl in a nightie drew 6.5 million views. The paper said YouTube, owned by Google, had allowed sexualized imagery of children to be easily searchable and had not lived up to its promise to better monitor and police its services to protect children. A YouTube spokesman said, "There shouldn't be any ads running on this content, and we are working urgently to fix this." YouTube had offered a similar apology and promised a comprehensive review in March, when the Times reported that ads from companies such as AT&T Incorporated, Verizon, and Procter & Gamble Company were appearing next to videos of religious extremists. More than 250 companies abandoned or scaled back YouTube advertising in response, resulting in steep losses of revenue for YouTube uploaders whose videos had attracted advertising.
That's a little bit of revisionist history. This actually all started way back in February when Jack Nicklaus and a couple of other idiots from the Wall Street Journal got a hair up their ass about PewDiePie. PewDiePie had made a few jokes that they didn't like, and so they started contacting advertisers about it. When the attempt to shame PewDiePie into behaving how they want by costing him a lot of money blew up in their face, Jack Nicklaus just couldn't let it go. He went on a little bit of a crusade against YouTube, digging up every little video he could that was in some way offensive and reporting it to advertisers. This became known as the adpocalypse, as a whole bunch of advertisers pulled their support from the platform. While a few of the examples did include ISIS training videos, the vast majority of the complaints came over videos that were just politically incorrect. One famous example was a Coca-Cola ad appearing on a video with the word nigger in the title. The adpocalypse was largely about language. It was about people saying things that are offensive. Oh no! And YouTube caved. We got new guidelines for advertising. But that wasn't where they stopped. They overreacted. They also came up with a plan where if they think your video is too bad, if you said too much of the wrong thing, they'll lock your video in a little box where nobody can comment on it or share it. That's the power of political correctness. Meanwhile, Kitty diddlers are running all over the platform. And it's not like this is something new. Creators have been warning YouTube about this for at least as long as I've been here. I've talked with a lot of creators about how to grow our channels. Who knew the real way to make it big on YouTube was to stop swearing and just show kitty porn? Now that might sound a little harsh, but it's exactly what's fucking happening. YouTube has been made aware of this problem over and over and over again. Hell, look at the Daddy of Five situation and how long it took YouTube to even address that. This was a man who was abusing his children for profit and the entertainment of his degenerate fucking fans. But what problem did they choose to address? They vastly overreacted to the original Adpocalypse complaints, while completely ignoring pedophiles running around all over their platform and children being exploited. As I was making this just tonight, it came out that if you typed in "how to have" into the YouTube search bar, this is what comes up. YouTube has since scrubbed that, but how do you let that become a problem on your platform? How is it that with your fancy bots that immediately flag all of my videos no matter what they're about, what's in the description, what's in the tags, those same bots can't be programmed to look up how to have sex with children and automatically fucking strike it? Where are your fucking priorities? Don't worry about that guy who wants to fuck kids. Monkey just called somebody a fat cunt. Get on that. Now, I don't think YouTube actually cares that much about me, but I hope that made the point. They're more worried about somebody calling a fat fuck than they are about a pedophile jacking off to little kids in their underwear on their platform. And this is my problem with social justice in general. Social justice is running around bitching about the most tiny, minute, bullshit problems. Meanwhile, real ones go ignored. We have to hear about fucking mansplaining while this motherfucker is running around YouTube talking about how it's okay to put your dick on a baby's ass. About how a baby touching your face is no different than him touching your cock. If you don't know who this is Amos Yee, and I'm not linking his fucking videos because he's a degenerate piece of shit. But if you're interested in looking him up, go watch and be as disgusted as I am. And then realize YouTube allows this on their platform. I'm all for free speech, but when you're talking about putting your dick on a baby's ass, that's not free speech. That's criminal fucking behavior. But because I say fuck too much, everything I do has to be manually approved by mommy and daddy. Social justice has fucked up pretty much everything. Movies, sports, video games, YouTube, Twitter, you name it. If social justice has stuck their fat fucking disgusting fingers into it, it's guaranteed they've fucked it up somehow. Social justice is making racism okay. It's making sexism okay. It's making people ignore real problems to focus on bullshit. While some of you might think that's getting boring, and while some of you think I might need to give it a rest, I think it's still a fight worth fighting. Because I'm not willing to give up to these fucking idiots. They are shaping our world and they're still winning the fight. Take a look at these examples and imagine where the world is going to be in another 10 years if this shit is allowed to keep going on. The world they want is not one I want to live in. Alright guys, that is going to wrap up this one. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm the Ranting Monkey, and I'll see you next time.
It is not morality, but culture. Accepting our monstrosity, reckoning with it. That can save us, if anything can.
It makes me salad.